Hey, hey everybody. Uh, hey, it's Dr. Savage. First of all, let me apologize to everybody. Hey, Aluchi, thank you for joining. Hey, Joel Mobley, thank you for joining. Just wanted to apologize to my viewers earlier. I hit that red button and didn't realize I was hitting the red button. And hey, Purpose to Profits, good to see you. How's everybody doing out there? This is a just let's talk kind of day. Yes, a just let's talk kind of day. Just wanted to share some abundance. Hey, Purpose, good to see you, lady. Are you out there motivating? You're a motivating guru out there. Oh, the way I wear my wig, keep styling and smiling. Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy my natural hair journey as well. Thank you for joining. You out there motivating people today, ma'am? I know you are, because you are a powerhouse. Anyway, hey JJ, good to see you. It's been a reading day for me. I decided to, map out my journey and map out my days a little better, and not scope all the time. But Mondays are my reading days. I don't work on Mondays. I just read. So I decided to come here and just have a let's talk session. And share some things that have been going on, and just some amazing revelations that I've had over the last week or so about my message and how important it is to really, 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 really know who you are. And let me reset. My name is Dr. Eve Angel Savage. I am Audacity's investment readiness coach. I teach people to identify, initiate, and implement strategies of distinction with the end in mind. And I do a lot of that by way of three pillars of my business, one being coaching, the second being e-learning for entrepreneurs, and the third being project management, boutique services for those people who just want you to do it for them, right? So, what have I learned? Many of you know I had Pass the Biz, right? Well, Pass the Biz is under reconstruction. And thankfully so, because I wanted to stick with what God has planned for that particular platform. So it's under reconstruction. But let me tell you about some other things. My message, if you notice that my message said God is abundance, and He is. God is truly abundance. And I finally got myself, I have had great mentors in the past, but I finally have myself under some great leadership with Asha Tyson. And of course, I've always admired Danielle. Haven't had a chance to take one of her classes yet. But guys, I've been doing a lot of things. I have been in business for quite some time, making moves, and, just needed some more clarity, right? In the way I think, because we all need to challenge the way we think sometimes, right? So my thing was thinking about how I think about money. How do I think about money, and how has my history impacted the way I think about money and the way I think about my future? And I always knew that something great was coming. I always knew that I was a servant leader, and that my goal was to help my fellow man. I always knew that my goal, my purpose was going to always be to pick somebody up, right? Yeah. I always knew those things, and I'm just really learning how to market myself in terms of, reaping some residual benefits. At some point you have to kind of figure out how you're going to have an income, right? So, to God be the glory. I've been participating in quite a few challenges over the last couple of weeks, and they allowed me to really see myself. The questions that were asked, thinking about, what do I want people to know about me? And for a long time, I didn't want you to know anything about me. Not where that was concerned, because I had reached a certain point in my life and I didn't want to go backwards, right? Well, how can that be if I am standing in front of people facilitating substance abuse groups, if I am standing in front of youth groups and empowering them to get over juvenile delinquency? How is it that I cannot want to share my story when I'm in these groups where I'm encouraging people to share their story, right? That's an oxymoron, right? So, so I came to myself. I came into some knowing about myself, and I'm truly excited because I learned so much about myself over this last week, and I might as well just tell you what that is. You know, the thing that I shared with people was the challenges at birth. My challenges, I have been challenged since birth. Challenged since birth. Yes. You know, I'm 53 years old, right? I was born 2 pounds, 6 ounces at 6 months gestation. Incubated for 6 months, and I wasn't supposed to live. That was not supposed to be the outcome. And I had a 6-month baby, and I lost my baby. And I reflect on that often. And thinking about how could I have survived, right? How did I survive all those years ago without modern medicine? But my baby boy, in the year of modern medicine and NICUs, did not survive. Now, he blessed me with 4 other children, but I lost the baby in between, and that did something to me. That did something to me, and I haven't really been talking about it for a while because it took me so long to mourn that, to go through that process. But when I reflect back on how and why, I know that it was God, because there's nothing short of God being able to save me all those years ago when there wasn't a NICU and there wasn't medicine and there wasn't, all these specialists for children, and they can operate while you're in the utero, and they can keep your amniotic sac intact, and all these things. There was no such thing. And so when I think about my story, I also think about the delays, the challenges I had at birth, because to be born that early, to be born that late, during that time, I had a lot of challenges. I had to wear braces on my legs just to walk. I had to have special services. I had a different kind of look. Mommy got lots of good care for me, though. Lots of good care. Mommy got lots of good care for me, and God really took care of me. But as I would progress into education, I would learn something else. And that was that I struggled to learn. And I don't know how many of you do, but I also discovered that my daughter has the same deficit. And that's that we are avid readers and really, really smart people. The problem is I was really strong in spelling. Really, really strong in spelling. I could spell the socks off of you. The problem is I spent so much time processing the words that I couldn't comprehend what was being said. So I spent so much time processing the words that I couldn't get the meat. I could not get the meat. I was a slow processor. So being a slow processor, certainly, that put me behind. That didn't give me the competitive edge, not where my education was concerned, because I had to read the information so many times. If I had just learned early on, that I was a different type of learner, or if they had just had things, during that time, that like audio books and things like that, then things could have been a lot easier for me. It's just like today, my daughter is reading a book called Survival of the Sickest as she prepares for an AP class that she's taking. She's a 10th grader. And she's fine with it. She says, but she's so busy. She said, Mom, I need you to get me the audio. And I said, well, why? Are you struggling with the book? And she said, it's not really that, Mom. She said, it's more of, by the time I get to the end of the page, I'm asking myself, what did I just read? You know, so I was like, wow. That sounds too much like me. So I bought her the audio, but they didn't have audios when I was coming up. Parents didn't know about those different learning styles then. Do they even know about them now? Do they even know about them now? And so I've always been an advocate for children and families, but never really told that side. Never really thought about telling that side. Never really thought about, advocating in that way, because I just never gave it a single ounce of thought. But here I am, a PhD in human services 53 years later. I just graduated with my PhD. I pressed. But a lot of that was because I learned what my learning style was, and I wanted it so bad that, I would literally read my chapters into my voice recorder and go to the gym and work out. That's how I got it. I got it by reading it. Don't even try to comprehend it the first time. I couldn't try to comprehend it the first time because I wasn't going to get it. But if I would read it into the recorder and go back and listen to it while I'm doing something else, I guess that makes me 3 different ways of learning. Visual, but slow processing. Audio, can hear it and absorb it. And tactile, it was moving. Moving made it even better, because it was like a way to focus. Because when I work out, that's kind of boring to me. Like boring. So I had to have something to deal with the traffic that was going on in my head, right? So 3 different ways: visual, audio, tactile, all of them mixed up. I'm like, had to do all of this because I'm feeding off of, I naturally feed off of stress. So learning all these things about myself and how I made it this far, left me thinking about who should I be sharing with? Who needs me? Who needs me? Who needs me? Well, the parents need me. The associations need me. The colleges need me. The universities need me. The students need me. They need my services. They need to know that there's somebody out there who went through the same thing that they're going through, to share with them some ways that they can help themselves and that they too can do it. Learned that the very gentleman that I built my business off of, my business model, was Richard Branson. This guy. The very guy that I built my business model off of. The first 2 pages, y'all, in his book, in his the forward, in the forward it says, business schools are wonderful places, and yet in hindsight, I am thankful I never went to one. Assuming, that is, that any of them would have had me. Did you hear that? If they would have had me. So then he goes on to say, the simple fact is that formal education and I were never really meant for each other. I suffered from an acute combination of dyslexia and what I suppose would nowadays be diagnosed as attention deficit disorder. Does that sound like anybody today? Does that sound like anybody today? No one ever wants to label themselves. But there is some truth to this stuff. There is some truth to where we are, how we learn, and the things that are going on in our heads. And so It was amazing to learn that the very model, he's a social entrepreneur. He is a guru of social enterprise. This guy, Richard Branson, my friend and mentor, guru, Richard Branson. Amazing. The guy is amazing. Not just him, but I shared with y'all yesterday about the JetBlue founder. He had a love for planes. That's how he ended up there. But a love for education wasn't his thing. Kinko's, the gentleman who owns the copier, his group projects was based off of him going to do the group copying the notes to get out of having to write them. Interesting, he would end up copying into a copy business. So when I share with you that God is abundant, He really is abundant. And I was thinking about a message that some words of wisdom that came from Asha Tyson 2 nights ago when she released the Money Magnet Mentoring Program. How if God, and I can't quote her, but this is what I got out of it. If we can't count the stars, and because there's so many of them, and we can't see where the ocean ends because there's so much water, and what was the other one? She didn't even say this one, but this is one I was thinking of. If we can't see the limits, there is no limit to the sky, then He demonstrated how He created the earth with abundance. And so what are we to believe? What are we to believe? Except that God is abundance, and that even though we can celebrate our small wins, God has got a greater plan. He's got an even greater plan. And I am so happy to know that, because, I thought that it was going to be book to book. Like I said, I just dropped a new book, and I have two in the makings, and a third and another one coming. So how is it that I could think when so many people need the message? What's your story today? What is your truth? What are you sharing with people? What are you sharing with people? And are you afraid to share the truth? As a PhD, I was somewhat intimidated to share that story, But why? I overcame. I'm more than a conqueror. I am more than a conqueror. As a matter of fact, I'm a super conqueror. How so? How so, says I? Because I am among 2% of Americans who have a PhD. 2%. And when I think about that, I'm absolutely humbled. Bold, but I'm humble. And you don't even know what happened in between. You don't even know what happened in between. So much happened in between. In between that baby who was challenged at birth and that young woman who received that PhD, there were so many challenges. I'm going to share them. I've shared some of them. But some of that sharing went straight over people's heads. Straight over. But anyway, I just came on to, it's my reading day. Mondays is a non-work day. It's an edifying day of reading. So, needless to say, my message has been rebranded. And I'm really excited about that, because I'm just elated that I have a clear understanding. I offer services for a lot of people, but my message for the people that I'm really going to touch, that's a whole nother target. My platform for speaking is completely different from my platform from a service provider. So you have to ask yourself, if you've got pillars to your business, who are you targeting with those pillars? My speaking pillar is going to be completely different from. Now, will they be able to use my services? Maybe. But that's not why I'm targeting them. But if they resonate with my message and decide they want to pick up on some of my services, then so be it. But that's not going to be my intent. That's not going to be the intention at all. Hello, Raleigh. Thank you. I'm just talking and sharing right now. I had a cricket kind of room. Other people are scoping or just don't want to join. That's okay, because I'm going to put it on YouTube. Hello, how are you? What's got it? I'm not sure what that is. All I know is it's been an amazing week in healing and prosperity and purpose and defining the bigger picture. And for those of you who are just joining me and put on the replay, thank you. This is Dr. Eve Angel Savage. I am your angel investment business readiness coach, author, speaker, and instructor. I teach individuals to identify, initiate, and implement strategies of distinction for readiness in business with the end in mind. Okay, with the end in mind. And I have 3 pillars to my business. 1, coaching and speaking. 2, e-learning instruction for the entrepreneur to increase their profitability. And 3, a boutique of project management services for that person who just wants someone to do it for them. So anyway, just rambling on, just rambling and rambling. So I think I'm just going to hop off, and I enjoyed sharing. If you want to connect with me, you can hit the little Perryman down there and just go to my bio and learn more about me. If you resonate with me and decide that you just didn't want to share anything, then you can go to my bio and you can click and learn more about me. Learn more about my speaking platform. Learn more about my mission, which is to affirm human social value for all people. I so resonate with this guy right here. You guys, I really resonate with this guy. Yeah. Amazing. He's amazing. And so many others like him. And thank you, Asha Tyson, for Money Magnet Mentoring. There's so much that's going to come out of that class. So much that's going to come out. So much of it that I'm going to share with others. Thank you, and thank you. God bless you all. Have a great evening. Until next time, it's Dr. Savage.